Greetings Internet, Spiro here. You might know me from other channels like Spiro.geek, where I talk a lot about comics, gaming, similar sort of things. I've been ignoring that channel for a little while. The motivation behind this channel is Spiro creating art. I've always been interested in art. I have done a lot of different kinds of art over the years, and I'm just sort of getting more seriously into it. So I wanted to set up this channel to document my journey, show you guys a few things, and see where we go. If you have ideas, let me know, as I will make videos on various things like I do. You can see behind me, there's down the bottom, there's an oil painting. Up here there's an acrylic painting. I've got some acrylics drying. I do watercolours. I've got a little wee notebook that I do. So I'll show you the shitty ones that I sometimes do watercolours in. Not very often, but sometimes do them. I got into doing doodling recently, which is kind of cool. I've just got this little sketchbook, and just been doing some interesting doodles, and that's fun. You know, it's like it's a way of being artistic without having any artistic goals, really. You know, it's just free flow. It's just keeping your mind creative and keeping it going, and just kind of, you know, you end up with stuff that looks like things sometimes, and sometimes you end up with stuff that looks like nothing. Sometimes you end up with stuff that looks like nothing, but it's still really, really amazingly cool. And it's just a lot of fun to do, you know. So to say, I'm getting more seriously into, you can see some of the oil paintings that are in the works, like here, which is, oh, and if I move my chair that way, there's another one there. I've been posting a lot more to Instagram. I also do photography, and I've done photography professionally before. I'll say semi-professionally because it wasn't a full-time job. I was mostly helping another friend who has a photography business. I'm just like as a second shooter, or as a doing product photography and things like that. So I do digital photography, I do analog photography. I even recently purchased this thing called a Holga, which is a Chinese plastic toy camera. It is like literally designed as a toy camera, and they're crappy as hell. They are completely inconsistent. They have light leaks. I haven't even finished one roll of film on it yet. As I say, recently got it. But I'm looking forward to some of the chaotic results, because that's part of it, right? Like I'm not one of these photographers who is into gear. Like if you follow photographers or photography, there's a Canadian photographer called David Duchemin, who is an amazing photographer, and he's got a YouTube channel called Gear is Good, but Vision is Better, and that's kind of always been my outlook. It's I don't want or need the latest cameras, because you can still take amazing photos with what gearheads consider old clunkers. I recently changed my cameras, my main digital camera, to a mirrorless, and it's smaller. It's this little thing here. It's a Panasonic Lumix GX85, I think it is. Yeah, GX85. This thing is friggin' tiny. Fits in your hand. The only thing it's not really good at is doing night photography, because it doesn't have a bulb mode, which I didn't know at the time, and it's kind of weird, but does everything else. I've used this, even though it doesn't do very good night photography or good low light photography, I've still used it successfully photographing concerts, and came up with some spectacular results. So yeah, I'm kind of into everything creative. I always have been, but you know, when I was young, I sort of got told I'll go into a real job and sort of leave the creative stuff as a hobby. Probably the most I've done is I've spent years and years painting miniatures, toy soldiers, those kind of things. So I've done, you know, I've always done painting and stuff in the background and done that. But now I'm focusing on actual art pieces, and see where that goes. And I know that there are a lot of people I know that I've met in the comic community, Comic Crack, La Raza, there's Jared Osborne. There's a whole lot of really cool people who are quite into their artistic side. Tony, Why Not Art as well. And there are a few others who are artistically inclined, but haven't always done a lot with it. But, you know, when you see something that they do, it's just like, wow, you're good at this. You know what? You should do it more. So this channel is more about promoting art and creativity in you, and I'll do that by going over my journey and what I'm doing, and tips, tricks. I don't know if I'll do full videos of recording myself painting. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do sped up stuff, just because I tend to work on like 300 things at a time. So it can still take, like this one here, I haven't touched for about a week because it's oil paints, and it's still feeling a little bit tacky. So I really wanted that lower layer to dry before I put on the other stuff over the top. So yeah, I'm not really set up. I've my main PC I got nuked, so I'm working on a laptop which doesn't really have the ability to do good recordings. I'm doing this off my cell phone at the moment. We'll see how we go. Like I'll probably do some little. I might start with some doodling and record that and give you some tips and hints that I've come across that help me doodle, and even though you're kind of trying to do it without thinking about it, there are some ideas and some practices you can put in place that'll help. That'll just get that creativity flowing, and give you some focus, if that makes sense. Anyway, this is just the introduction to this channel. So let me know what you think. What do you do? What sort of art are you into? What sort of creativity are you into? I'll be covering all of these things in this channel, just because that's what I'm into. If there's stuff that I'm not into, like I'm not hugely into pastels or anything, but I have pastels, so that might be something I'll play with and see what the result is, and you can laugh at my failures, and maybe that'll inspire you to try something as well. So yeah, nice to see you, nice, and we'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you think. Subscribe, obviously it's a new channel. Tell your friends if you know anyone who is of a creative bent, or who is and wants to do more. Yeah, comment below, like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff, and we'll see you later.